It's easy to get caught up in the sizzle and the visual presentation of Dragon Ball Super, specifically the Goku vs. Jiren fight. Aesthetically speaking, the fight looks like nothing we've seen before, with very vibrant and bright colors and a new level of power and speed that hasn't really been explored too much in Dragon Ball prior to it. But when you look beneath the surface with what the series has presented to us with the characters of Goku and Jiren, you find that there's a much deeper message being sent to us from these characters, their different ideals and their different motivations. It's actually quite similar to Goku and Vegeta in the sense that you have two characters who met as rivals because they had different philosophies on life, and the battle between Goku and Jiren does indeed mirror this, but in a different way. So I'd like to ask you to please sit back and look a little bit deeper with me as I present to you the philosophical battle between Goku and Jiren, and hopefully by the end of this video what I hope to accomplish is that you'll look at what the real message that Toriyama and the creators behind Super are trying to tell us about these two characters and about life overall. There's actually a lot of deep stuff going on, and I want to get into it here next. So sit back, relax, and let's go into it together.
Hey, this is Master Roshi from Dragon Ball Z. You're listening and watching Geekdom 101. And if you haven't already subscribed, then look at these links and do so.
A few days ago, we received spoilers from Dragon Ball Super episode 131, and the community became, well, split once again, because this always happens. People were upset at what those spoilers said about Super episode 131, and I'm going to be discussing some of that on this video. Not too many details, but I'm going to be discussing some of it, so I'm letting you know now that there will be minor, not major, minor spoilers for 130 and 131 here based on what we know and based on the recent interview with the Dragon Ball Super directors, because we have to gather the information from the series and from the directors and from what we know so I can kind of give you a clear picture of what's going on. Goku versus Jiren is a battle of not just two very powerful mortals, but different philosophies on life. I've talked about this in my reviews, but to go a little bit deeper, Goku and Jiren both have similar ideals when it comes to combat. They both want to get stronger, and when you really scrape beneath the surface, you come to understand that Goku and Jiren's backstories are not entirely that different. But the way that their backstories shape them as men is very different, and that to me, no matter how you feel about Dragon Ball Super, that is a very interesting plot point they've put in here. Could the execution have been better? Yeah, obviously it could have, but it's still an interesting idea. So let's talk about it real quick. So Jiren wants to be stronger because of what happened when he was a child. He found his parents dead by a mysterious assailant, and he wound up joining forces with a martial artist to become stronger, and yet he also witnessed his own friends betray him and die in front of him. So Jiren's entire motivation to get stronger is based on fear. The fear of loss. The fear of pain from that loss. That's what drove him to become as strong as he is. And the issue with that is that it's in stark contrast to Goku. Goku from the beginning has been a character that has made friends of his enemies. From the very beginning of Dragon Ball, starting with Yamcha, his rival Krillin, all the way through to Piccolo Jr., to Vegeta, of course, that's the big one, Tenshinhan. Most of Goku's friends started out as either rivals or enemies, and you could even go into Dragon Ball Super and add Beerus to that list too. He's gone from being Goku's rival to kind of Goku's cheerleader. Sorry, but it's true. I want you to go back and I want you to look at what happened when Toppo got eliminated and how Jiren was so disappointed in him. Jiren's entire philosophy is that he can't count on anybody because anybody who he's been able to count on in his whole life has let him down. Whether it be by circumstance or whether it be purposefully, Jiren just doesn't feel like he can count on anyone. And that to me is interesting to the character, in that even though he's part of a team, the Pride Troopers, he's very much a loner. He's very much alone. He feels alone. He feels like there's nobody who really can understand him and nobody who he can count on, and vice versa, because they count on him a lot, but he doesn't care about that. Now with Goku, he wants to get stronger because he is a pure martial artist. He wants to test his body out against the strongest in the universe, whether it be mortals or gods. So obviously when Jiren first appeared, it's another chance for Goku to really test his limits. But the difference between the two is that Goku is not so much of a loner like people believe. Goku has always needed to count on his friends and vice versa when it comes to the ultimate battles he faced. For example, when Frieza killed Krillin, that was the motivation to push him to break his limits all the way back on planet Namek. That's an example of Goku's friends triggering his anger. In fact, when Krillin died the first time by Tambourine in Dragon Ball, the same thing occurred. Now, look at how the series progressed after that. Goku saw potential in his son and pushed him. Whether or not that was a good ideological decision as a parent, that remains to be discussed in a different video, but nonetheless, it wasn't all about him at that point. And at the end of Dragon Ball Z, it took the help of millions of people donating energy to the Genki Dama to kill Majin Buu. Goku could not have done that on his own. It was the help of everyone. Everyone counts on him. He counts on everyone. This was talked about in detail in the recent episodes of Dragon Ball Super. Universe 7 is counting on Goku, and Goku counts on them for support. That's a factual statement that's happened several times in the series. Yes, Goku has been selfish, but you can't say he doesn't care about his friends, because he obviously does. Now, there's a little bit more insight that came out from a recent interview with Dragon Ball Super producer Satoru Takami and series director Ryota Nakamura about Jiren and where I think this is going. In the interview, it's pretty much blatantly stated that Jiren is not evil, which we all kind of knew. He's not evil, he's a superhero, but he says that Jiren carries a lot of baggage and doesn't live his life based on malice, but he does live his life based on fear, and that fear is what motivates him to become more powerful. People don't want to address it because you think of somebody like Jiren as being fearless, but it's not that he's afraid of an opponent. He's afraid of being alone. He's afraid of feeling the way he felt when his parents died. Yes, it's kind of like Batman. The comparisons have been made. Nakamura would go on to say that he wants children to pick up on what Jiren learns and feels from fighting Goku. It's probably something that can be applied in the real world. Others won't share the same sensibilities as you. In fact, most people don't think the same way you do. In this series, it's a physical battle, but I think everyone has had this time, or had a time, where they felt something when their ideas clashed against someone else's. I think Toriyama Sensei's Universe Survival arc is sort of that story. I made it with that interpretation in mind. So he's talking about how Goku and Jiren have different philosophical views on the world and on how they treat their friends. And to me, that's where the whole line came from, where 17 stated to Jiren that, oh, you just see them as things. Like, he doesn't really see his friends as actually being friends. He doesn't get too close to the Pride Troopers because, again, it's that fear of loss. And this is something that people in the real world struggle with. If you're traumatized by something when you're younger, you kind of become a loner, an introvert, and I know a lot of you out there probably feel me on this one. I know you do because I have YouTuber friends who go through this, and I've gone through this before. So it's real stuff. It's real emotions that Jiren's feeling here. Nakamura would then go on to say that even though this is Goku's story, it might actually be Jiren's story too, setting up a character like Jiren as the greatest rival, but who's not just an evil guy. Now, you might be wondering, what does all of this have to do with the ending of Dragon Ball Super's Tournament of Power and like what happens at the end? The answer is everything. I want you to think about this for a minute, okay? We know based on the spoilers that Frieza will be involved in the finale of this fight, that he's going to be in there somehow. Why is this so important? Because the difference between Jiren and Goku, and this has been a character trait of Goku's from day one, which I mentioned earlier. Goku trusted Frieza to help them. They were in a pinch. All of his friends said, why are you doing this with Frieza? Why are you doing this with Frieza? This is a big mistake. This is a bad move. And Goku was the one who said, let's bring him. If something bad happens, Vegeta and I will take care of it, but we need him. And at the end of the day, Goku put aside their years, actually decade-long rivalry with this guy Frieza, where this dude went and killed so many innocent people, including Goku's family, including Goku's mother and father, right? Just like Jiren. Goku put that aside for the betterment of the universe. Jiren would never have done that, and at the end of the day, if Frieza, we don't know for sure, is the reason why Jiren is going to lose, or this thing ends up in a tie, then Goku was right all along. Did he mean to be right? Probably not. It was circumstance. I don't think he purposely knew it was going to end up like this. But at the end of the day, Goku trusting Frieza, the guy who killed his family and his best friend and all that history they have, may end up being the key to winning the tournament at the end of the day. So when all is said and done, Jiren may learn a valuable lesson about people counting on you and you counting on them for support, for love, and like always, when it comes to Goku, whenever he meets somebody new, he changes them, and Jiren is no different. But we'll see how it plays out. Thank you for watching this video. If you are new to Geekdom 101, hit the subscribe button and become a member of the Geek Army and enjoy the stuff that I put out, hopefully, maybe. If you enjoyed this one, hit the like button. And I love you all, and I'll see you soon.